Welcome into another edition of the Leadership Library, hosted by CEO and author Rocky Romanella. Rocky is the author of the book Tighten the Lug Nuts, The Principles of Balanced Leadership, and has over 40 years of business experience as a prominent member of the UPS Supply Chain Solutions team, as well as the CEO of Unitech Global Services. So sit back, grab your notebook, and take a seat, and get ready for this edition of the Leadership Library.
Welcome to the Leadership Library. I'm your host, Rocky Romanella. We're going to continue on the succession planning process. So let's talk about 5 key important steps here. The first one is the identification of key positions. So we've talked about the pivotal roles. There's a process of identifying those key positions. Those positions where there's a certain skill, those positions that have to be replaced immediately. I think that's important to identify those. That's one step in the process. The next is identification of key talent. Who are those individuals inside our organization that have the ability to do more, to grow and develop inside our organization? And then you begin that process of ready now, 1 to 2 years away, 3 to 5, and start to put together as part of your career development process with each individual. Okay, you're ready now. What are the areas that you as key talent we need to identify, work on, and help? Could be one of the last things is you're a very good communicator one-on-one, but now as we've identified you as a key talent, we believe you can move into one of those key positions, but in that key position, you're now going to do more public speaking, or you're going to do more speaking in groups. Okay, we've identified that. We're going to work on that between now and the time that you're ready to take that next move. So we identify the key positions. Now we've identified the key talent. We've put together this plan, and now we understand what it is that we need to work with you on to get there. The next step would be the assessment of the talent, and I think part of that assessment is how we get to what are the things you should work on, right? Here's your strengths, here's your weaknesses. You could actually do a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and barriers. What are some of the barriers that are preventing you to maybe get from 2 to 3 to 1 to 5 or 1 to 2? We're ready now. What are those talent areas that we've assessed that you need work on? So we've identified the key positions. We've identified who the key talent is. We've done an assessment. And now we begin that grooming process and that development process. And that's a two-way street. And I think in the SWOT analysis, we talked a little bit about that when we ask an individual, well, why don't you do the SWOT analysis on yourself? I'm going to do my SWOT analysis. And then we look at where that gap is. And I think that's a really nice thing to do during this grooming development, because about 80% of the time, you're going to both be on the same page. I think I'm good at this. You think I'm good at this. But there are going to be those instances where I think I'm pretty good at this area, but you don't see that at all in me. You think that's an area of development, and I think that's an area of strength. So I think that's that gap you want to close. And then when you both identify this is a weakness, well, then you work on that weakness. But when you find that gap, I think that's the key. That's when you start to get on that same page. And I think that if you think about it, you've identified the key positions, you identified the key people, you've done an assessment, now you've done the SWOT analysis, and you're grooming and developing them. And then finally, I think you have to understand if that event takes place, and we do have that opening now, we've had a promotion and now there's an opening, you're the key person, you've identified as a ready now, we've been working on those areas to get you ready for that next move. And now it's open. Now I think we have to support you through that. That's when we talked about faith, right? We believe in you until you're ready to believe in yourself. We have the confidence in you to help you get there. Maybe there's a person inside the organization that can help you with that transition. There's a transition plan. That's what helps you to become successful in that new role or responsibility. And that's a process. Identifying the key positions, identifying the key talent, assessing the key talent, grooming and developing them, and supporting them through the transition. Until we meet again, be safe, and thank you for being a member of the Leadership Library family, and subscribe, please.